It's time to cover another power set on our favorite game. Let's jump in. What's going on, guys? This is your boy No Name Found with another video. It's finally time to cover another power set that in this case will be the Fire in-depth power set guide. It will be a long video like usual, but this time I'm trying to make a shorter video to help the viewers and help my editing as well. Don't worry, guys, every single session of the video will be covered on the first comment on the comment section below. So just in case if you want to skip to another section of the video, you can immediately just clicking on the timestamp. I want to start immediately. Covering the basic, the kind of generator modes that we are using for this power set. That can be depend on which kind of spec you play, if you play prec or if you play might. And I will switch those modes for as prec when I have to cover the precision side of the power set. So in this case, on the generator mode, as mods, of course, the white one is completely up to you, doesn't matter. As HP and power, we want to always use HP because fire it's a tank as a second role, so all of them must be HP. Specifically for fire, because fire, like rage, it's a kind of power set that is based on HP, so all of them must be HP. Support, of course, dominance. I have tried as well the restoration one, but to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't see any kind of difference. And as offense, of course, might or prec, depend which kind. So once again, depend which kind of spec you are playing. Affinity, the first two are always fully dedicated to the DPS side, so might or prec, type A and type B, depend on the spec that you're playing. And the type C and type D, I'm running a rejuvenating escape and a crippling stance because those are useful when you are tanking, giving you some passive abilities that sometimes you can stun ads and kind of utilities that can be useful on the fight. Okay, guys, talking about the might spec of this power set as skill points, artifact, and augments. I'm gonna jump immediately there. And as weapon, of course, you wanna always put just 1 point to unlock the tree of the weapon that you wanna use. So most of the time people are asking me during my live stream which kind of weapon is worth to get as might, and once again it doesn't matter at all, to be honest, because considering that the entire damage that you will do will come just by your powers from your loadout, because those loadouts are just play from the tray. So it doesn't matter which one you are going to use. I personally prefer fast weapons that you can launch immediately your enemies and get close to them, specifically if you are playing a melee build. So I want to always suggest weapons like one-hand, dual wield, and shield. It's perfectly fine. For a pure single target, if you want to maximize the damage on your single target, the rifle is always the way to go, because we already know that the ranged tap that we can also cancel while doing our skill, it's an hard hitter in this game since the beginning. So just one point on the weapon of your choice, because as might we already know that doesn't matter at all. Then on super speed, on your movement, you want to unlock the speed force or just the movement that you have going down and unlock. Those passives are not necessary at all, to be honest, guys, so they are not vital, but since I have enough skill point, I'm going to unlock them because those are useful to get some power back and some innate as resistance. As a super speed, you wanna unlock the Weaving Dervish because this is a part of our melee loadout, and I will cover everything later. Then going back on iconic power, you want to be prepared for every kind of situation, so you can immediately switch your armory according on what you need. So all the time Attribution is absolutely a must as fire. Freezing breath for the ranged rotation, if you have to be maximum range, it's really useful. Neo Venom boost once again for ranged and pure single target is the way to go, and always the robot sidekick for some free damage. It's just a pet. Going down on the stats point, of course, this is a might build, so all the time focus on the superpowered, 20 critical attack chance, 40 critical attack damage, maximize your might and power, and the rest on HP. This is another question that people keeping saying and keeping asking me, sorry guys. Amar, what about if we put something like 100 skill point on prec just to maximize the damage on the weapon tap? The answer will be always the same. So, since a couple of DLC, since Wonderverse, and also on the last DLC, Long Live the Legion, plus the event Elite Raid, I mean the anniversary event, we have a certain kind of feats that we have to avoid to die. So guys, believe me, you can't imagine how useful it is to put additional skill points on HP and basically avoiding you to die from a certain one shot. So I always suggest you to run more point on HP just for a better survivability, specifically if you are going to do kind of no die feats in depend on the ride that you're running, or if you want to maximize just a bit the damage, I will want to suggest you to put 100 point on prec just to get the 10% precision and weaponization rating to maximize the proc of the white mod. Otherwise, I would always suggest to go as maximize your HP for a better survivability. Going back and talking about the artifact, not going to cover the white mod because the white mod will change according on which kind of spec you are playing. The static and the best combination of the artifact I have experienced based on my own experience are just transformation card. We already know, guys, it's literally a must for a DPS, doesn't matter. Then strategist card, that's going to synergize with this one, proccing and getting additional free damage, and it's a damage over time, depend where it procs. And the solar amplifier, we already know that it's a completely a tier 1 artifact as might DPS, doesn't matter which kind of power set you're playing. I have tested this rotation and that's working. I didn't find nothing else that is working better than this combination, to be completely honest, because as fire you have a lot of way to apply your power interaction, so the Grimorium Verum it's literally not necessary. It will be necessary for the prec side of this power set, but as might, this, in my opinion, it's the best combination of artifact that you can run. Talking about the augments, of course, guys, this is a might build, so of course you wanna always run might augments, adaptive and origin one. So according on which kind of episode you play, you have always to switch to get some benefit, some buff, and the same is happening as origin one, so all of them mighty to have to get the best amount of might that you can get. Okay, guys, talking about the might melee spec, about this power set, we have already seen the artifact, the augments, and the skill points as well. So let's jump inside the white mods. As white mods, of course, we wanna always run the blast adapter. This is free damage as weapon tap. On the head, depend on the spec that you are playing. As melee, you wanna always run fireball barrage because this is basically a projectile based supercharge, but you can switch as a Neo Venom boost if you're playing a pure single target or just ranged one. It's perfectly fine. On the neck, of course, it will be always a Skyting Might, since it's a might build. On the back, accelerate the Sock Flame. It's a useful PI applier and damage over time as well. On the chest, always penetrating strikes. On the legs, restorative flashpoint. This is another skill that we are using on our melee rotation, and on hands, max damage all the time. This is completely a must. And on your feet, of course, dashing combo, since we are using the Weaving Dervish. If you don't want to use this one when you are switching your build, you can always use Tumbling Master, so sometimes this is useful to get rid of some bad situations. As a trinket, and everything inside the utility belt, supply drop is completely a must, the regular trinket. For this build, for the melee one, I am running the Slayer Sunken Rune, it's the summer seasonal trinket, and of course the orbital, it doesn't matter which kind of skin you have. Talking about the loadout, guys, I am running Spontaneous Combustion, Stock Flames, Flashpoint, Fire Burst, Whirlwind Dervish, and Fireball Barrage. Like we said, that's a projectile based, so you have to be close to your target to get all the hits from this supercharge. The loadout is absolutely easy: Spontaneous Combustion clipped with the Stock Flames, Flashpoint, then charge your Fire Burst. When you hit the damage, you can do the Whirlwind Dervish, and after 2 seconds and a half, 3 seconds, you can cancel the animation of the Whirlwind Dervish just with the melee tap to get an additional damage from your white bot. Okay guys, talking about the ranged version of the Might build, we're going to check immediately the white mode. So on the weapon all the time, Blast Adapter, this is absolutely a must. On your head, Supercharged Neo Venom boost. On the neck, Escalating Might. On the back, Berserk, just because there is nothing that it's really useful as ranged, so I'm running Berserk. Chest all the time, Penetrating Strikes. Legs, it's the same as the back, so there is nothing useful. You can actually run Overeat, but Overeat skill, it's a specific skill if your target is a mobile target, so it can be useful depend on the situation and depend on which raid you are playing. So restorative flashpoint for the legs, Overeat, if you are using Overeat, it's perfectly fine. On the hands all the time, max damage, and on the feet, Tumbling Master Signs, we don't need dashing combo because this is a ranged version. So Tumbling Master is always the way to go. If sometimes you want to get rid of some bad situation, you have to block and roll immediately to dodge some raid mechanics, this is absolutely a must. Talking about the trinket inside the utility belt, all the time the supply drop, doesn't matter which skin you have, regular trinket. I am running the Henchman Red Lanterns, and guys, to be completely honest, to be completely sure on which kind of pets are doing the most amount of damage in this game, I want to suggest you to check Obsidian Chill videos because he's doing a nice job. So So, like every single time, huge shout outs from my for my brother from another mother. Check his videos because Chillerino, it's just an insane guy. You already know, right, guys? And then, last but not least, of course, the orbital strike. Doesn't matter which kind of skin you have. Talking about the loadout, this is the ranged one, so we want to maximize the damage as ranged. I am putting it in Inferno, then Amplified Attribution, Fire Burst, Mass Detonation, Robo Sidekick, and Neo Venom Boost. The Inferno, it's a damage over time and also a power interaction applier, so that really feels good, man, because it can proc your strategist card as well, same as at Vision. Fire Burst is a little bit tricky, guys, because Fire Burst, it's a kind of skill that you have to charge this skill, and this skill have a range. So this is the way to go if you are able to get close, well, not close, but at mid-range. This is one of the best skill as fire power set because it's an hard hitter, even if you require a charge time. So if you're not able to use this one because in certain kind of situation you have to stay ranged, so you want to change the fire burst all the time for, I forgot to skill this one, no, is here, so as freezing breath, it's perfectly fine, and then continuing your rotation as mass detonation. It's simple and easy, nothing particularly complicated. Okay, guys, talking about the precision side of this beautiful power set, I did something different compared on what you can find on other YouTubers, just because for the simple reason that since a couple of DLC, it's really rare that we have some kind of boss fight with a pure single target. So basically, you have to mix and balance the damage between a single target and adds as well. So, for example, thinking about Co-Elite on the first boss, at the beginning you have just a single target boss, but in the middle of the fight it will spawn a lot of adds in multiple phases. So I was thinking about to make a kind of build that it's the perfect balance between a single target and multi-target as well, allowing you to switch on fly without using your armories. I wanna go immediately in depth of this spec, so going exactly on the skill points. First of all, we have the little trick is just to unlock the skills of 4 weapons. So this is basically a mix between single target and multi-target. So we are using brawling, we are going to use the bow, we are using the dual wield, and we will use, of course, as well martial arts. So starting on brawling, we have to unlock absolutely everything and also the weapon masteries. So the final idea is just to unlock the Shuriken Storm mastering as brawling. So when you unlock all of them on martial arts, everything to unlock the martial arts mastery, so allowing us to select the Shuriken Storm. And it's the same as dual wield. So as a dual wield, that's a pure single target one, we're going to unlock absolutely everything about this one, and also on the bow as well. So basically everything, also the bow mastery, so we can go back as a dual wield. I'm losing myself on those menus, and also unlock the Flurry Shot masteries. I will explain you why, guys, in just 1 second. So this is exactly how you have to put the skill point on your weapons, so allowing you to unlock basically 4 weapons, and going down on your movement. Of course, you're going to selected the fast movement that you have. So in my case it's a speed force because I'm super speed. That's why I'm always suggesting people to switch as a super speed if your main role is a DPS, because you have a bunch of benefits from this movement. Unlocking the tornado pool, that will be useful for the single target one, and just unlocking those innates, they are absolutely fine. It's some kind of utility that we will have as passive. And also Whirlwind Dervish as a super speed, but don't worry, I will suggest you a replacement for other movements. Going back on iconic powers, we need just the Neovenom boost to boost all of our damage, because this is a prec spec, and also Robot Sidekick, that it's absolutely free damage from a pet. Going back on stats points, of course, we are selecting Weapon Expert, because it's a prec build, 20, 40, maximize your precision, and the rest on HP, because we already said that those are absolutely insane useful when you have to do some kind of no-die feats. We already said it, right, guys? Going back on the artifact spec, this is probably the most common combination of artifacts that you can get as a prec DPS. This is the most performing one. I'm feeling so good with this one, guys. Always transformation and strategies is absolutely a must, like we know, and also the Grimorium Verum, that's that giving us the most amount of percent of prec that we can get, plus 1 pet that is applying the power interaction and also damage over time. So that's absolutely insane. I didn't find nothing else that's working better than this one, to be honest, guys. But feel free to correct me on the comment section below. Moving on, the augments, of course, I didn't select nothing, guys, because as you can see, I don't have the prec artifacts. I mean, sorry, the prec adaptive augments, because I am mainly playing Might, because in my opinion Might it's a little bit more fun, even if the precision specs are a little bit stronger compared to the Might. And this is my question to the developers: why prec have to be superior by Might? But we have to ask them to developers. So on the adaptive augments, you are going to select all the time the one that you have according to the episode that you are playing. And also, guys, on the origin one, always the precise implant. So in this case, because this is just a precision build. Okay, guys, talking about the melee spec of this power set regarding the white modes, loadout, and affinity bonuses as well, everything that you must know. I want to start immediately with saying that for prec build you need basically two kind of weapons. So this one, it's not 187, it's not an elite one like this one, because you already know that you have to farm a bunch of bounties, and I have already my weapon, and I am absolutely fine with it. I just bought the regular one just to cover the prec spec of the side, but doesn't matter. So first of all, the affinity bonuses, it's type A and type B precision, like we know, guys. Type C and type D we already covered on the tank section. So type A and type B precision. So for this is the melee version, so we are going to use the brawling. So once again, ignore that this is at 185, you need at 187, the elite one. So we are going to use a blast adapter because this is just a prec spec and it's the best mod as DPS. On the head, we are using Neovenom Boost because on bot spec we are using Neovenom Boost on melee and single target ranged one. Also on the neck, of course, Relentless Precision 5. On the back, Accelerated Burning Determination because it's one of the skills that we are including in this rotation. On the chest, Penetrating Strike because it's the best one, absolutely. You can ignore the legs because there is nothing really useful as fire precision. Moving on the ends, we have max damage, this is absolutely a must, and on the feet, this is this is the tricky part. So, Tumbling Master, if you are not so fast to escape from a bad situation, so like dodging a mechanic or stuff like that, if you are really good on block and rolling immediately to get rid of some bad situation, you can use, for example, Deadly Block. So as you can see, guys, with the Deadly Block, you can do an additional depth, so that every single time you are countering and adds on the boss, and this is happening all the time, because when the tank is taking the aggro of all the adds, sometimes, most of the time, there are ads that are going to block, and with this mod you can do an additional damage equal to 5% of your precision. So if you feel comfortable with your block and roll movement, Deadly Block is always the way to go because this is an additional damage. From the utility belt, of course, like usual, supply drop, guys, this is absolutely a must. It doesn't matter which skin you're using. Regular trinket to 85, since I'm filming this guide, but can be higher in the future. And as melee, I am using the Slayer's Sunken Rune. This is the summer event trinket. So, like the good job of Obsidian Shield, we know already that which kind of damage pets are doing. So since this is the melee one, but it's also the multi-target one, we are going to change this trinket according on which range we are going to do. So for the melee one, Slayer Second Rune, or if you are going ranged, always the Dark Construct Backed is the way to go if you have to stay ranged as multi-target. The last one, guys, it's literally a must for a DPS, it's the orbital, and once again, doesn't matter which kind of skin you have. Moving on the loadout, guys, this is a little bit tricky because you can clip spontaneous combustion with the Fury weapon, cancel the animation of the brawling martial arts combos, and once again Meteor Strike with Robot Sidekick and also Neovenom Boost. I will show you guys the rotation in a second, and don't worry, there is nothing particularly complicated. Okay, guys, talking about the pure single target spec for this power set as precision, nothing is going to change at all on the mods. So the only thing that is changing is just the weapon, that we are wearing the dual wield instead of the brawling. So all the time on the weapon blast adapter 5, on the head absolutely neovenom boost, on the neck Rentus precision 5, on the back accelerated burning determination, always penetrating strikes, and so once again on the legs there is nothing useful. On the ends maximum damage, and on the feet, like we said, Tumbling Master or just a Deadly Block, depend if you are good to survive or not. This is totally up to you. But if you're good, guys, then I would suggest you Deadly Block, because this is just some free damage, according that you have a nice survivability. On the utility belt, of course, like usual, the supply drop plus the regular trinket. I'm using the Atlantean Sea Horse, but I have no idea which one is the best, guys, between Atlantean Sea Horse or the Paradox Geyser. So you can check Obsidian Shield videos once again between Paradox Geyser and Atlantean Sea Horse. I have no idea which one is the best. I'm using Atlantean Sea Horse since the beginning, but feel free to check his videos to check which one is doing more damage as pure single target, and also the orbitals as well, because this is absolutely a must for a DPS. Moving on, the loadouts, this is a little bit different compared to the ranged melee one. This is absolutely, so I mean between the multi-target and also the melee one, just because we want to include the tornado pool if you are super speed. If you are not a super speed, guys, I would suggest you to replace us in Inferno, because this is that's a damage over time if you have a static boss, or just overeat if you have a mobile target. This is totally up to you. So if you have a static target in Inferno, it's a nice damage over time, and also you have a possibility to proc the Strategist card. Otherwise, if the target is mobile, overeat. If you're not super speed. If you're super speed, Tornado Pool is always the way to go. Tornado Pool plus Fury Weapon plus Weaving Dervish. If you don't have Weaving Dervish because you are not super speed, don't worry, guys. You can replace with, for example, the Glass Shield. Absolutely. Don't remember where is. This one, so you can do 1, 2, and 3. Clip all of them together. But once again, if you are a DPS, it's better that you switch as a super speed, right, guys? So, Tornado Pool clipped with the Fury Weapon, Whirlwind Dervish to cancel the animation of the Flurry Shot. Flurry Shot, once again, spontaneous combustion to put some damage over time, and just repeat. Okay, guys, talking about the tank role, about this awesome power set, we have to check first which kind of benefits we have while switching on tank role. So pressing K on your keyboard and going into the traits, clicking on the name of your power set, that in this case is fire, and scrolling up to the top on level 10. We already learned since a couple of power set guides, right guys? So level 10 tank roll, you gain the following benefits while in tank roll. So 50% HP. So no matter what, when you switch on tank roll, you will get a 50% bonus in HP based on your base HP. 50% incoming healing while not blocking, and that's why it's really important to don't keep blocking when you are tanking, because since the restyle, the developers made this role a little bit more versatile and funny. Since back in the days, the tank was just doing your skill, take the aggro, popping your shield or the mechanics of the power set and just keep blocking. That was absolutely boring. Free perception, and you gain fire soul. We will see what is this fire soul. Also superpowers gain taunt, so abilities cost 30% of less power, since we have to spam a lot of skills for the self-healing. Talking about the fire soul, Fire Soul means that we are getting a minimum of 35% of defense while not blocking, to a maximum of 60% defense while not blocking, until you are absolutely burning your target. So when you apply your power interaction to the enemies around you, you are getting exactly this bonus. Also, taunt, when you use a super attack, powers your opponent attack you instead of your allies. This is exactly what it's the same for every single power set, right, guys? So, the most important thing to know is just that you don't have to block too frequently, you have just to block only to counter some launch or from the boss, or just to block break. So don't block too much, guys, because otherwise you will lose a lot of benefit. Talking about and start talking about the white mode, of course, as a weapon, we want to always go as Absorption Adapter. This is just a passive shield that is going to proc at one point, and also talking about the head, this is something useful only if you are running the Eye of Gemini as a tank, but I'm touching this section in a second. On the neck, of course, Fortified Assault. On the back, Accelerated Stock Flame, because Stock Flame, it's really important. You can't imagine how many fire tank I have seen they are not running Stock Flames. It's absolutely necessary. It's a must for a fire tank. As a chest, of course, Earth, it's a percent of HP. As legs, doesn't matter, guys, because there is nothing useful as fire. On the hands, you can go as a regenerative shield, since it's proccing with your restoration. And on the feet, Stumbling Master, just to avoid and to get rid of some bad situations that can save you. On the trinket, I am running the supply drop. This is totally up to you guys, and totally up to your preference. A bunch of people run as the consumable to absorb 100% of damage, but this is my personal preference, and always feel so good with this combination. So all the time the supply drop that can be useful to buff your group, the DPS of your group. I'm running the chronometer emitter just to stun the heads if they are a lot, and allowing me to cycle my rotation. And also I'm running the Breakout Trinket. This is just a tier 2, a simple trinket that's a tier 2 available on the vendor. You can imagine how useful is this one when they are trying to control you and stopping you to do your rotation that we are touching in a second. And last but not least, always the additional damage maybe to finish the boss. Absolutely wonderful. Talking about the artifact, guys, this combination is basically, so Everyman Prototype, Manacle of Force, Mystic Symbol of the Seven, it's absolutely fine with every single power set. The only thing that I would change, and that you can change, is just change the Everyman Prototype for the Eye of Gemini. If you're running a supercharge loadout, that can be fine as well. But generally with this combination, you are ready ready to go and ready to tank with every single power set into the game. Talking and moving on the augments, this is a tank role, so we already know, guys, that the dominating are absolutely a must, depend literally on the episode that you are going to play, and also the origin augments, everything else dominating. I have tested during my session of the live stream, I have tested to run a mix between dominance and restoration. I have tried to replace those as restoration, but to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't see a huge difference, absolutely. So I'm sticking with the classic setup as dominance. That will be absolutely a must. And also, talking about the skill points, that it's the most important thing, and the skill point usage on a tank as a fire tank, it's probably one of the most common question on my live stream. So, as weapon, of course, like every single time, I prefer a fast weapon to launch my opponents. I'm going to unlock the flip slash, because this weapon combo is absolutely useful and allowing you to pull the heads into the air for 2 seconds and allowing you to do your rotation. So just to restart your rotation. This is a weapon combo that I'm using with every single power set, no matter which power set I'm playing. Then moving back on super speed, I'm unlocking the speed force, unlocking the dash attack and the face dodge. Those can be useful. This one if you're running an Eye of Gemini setup, and also face dodge is useful sometimes when you have to dodge a bunch of damage, specifically if you're solo tanking some elite content. And those are not necessary, to be honest, guys. So I will unlock this one and this one. You can skip the other three if you don't have enough skill point, but since I have enough skill point, some utility, some power back is always useful. Talking about the iconic power, I'm going to unlock the Pheromone Bloom, the Hard Light Shield, Mesmerizing Lasso, this is a single target pull that can be useful sometimes, and Amazonium Deflection. Why using Pheromone Bloom? Pheromone Bloom, it's a nice supercharge that I'm mainly using on alerts. It's really rare that I'm not running this one at all on raids, because I prefer to run the dash attack to proc the Gemini. If I am running a Gemini, I am switching between the kind of contents that I'm playing. So Pheromone Bloom, it's really useful. Hard Light Shield, it's the most strong shield, a solo shield into the game, so this is literally a must. The Mesmerizing Lasso, it's a single target pull that can be useful sometimes if you have to do something specific, maybe some fit. And the Amazonium Deflection, like the face dodge, sometimes it's useful, so allowing you to absorb an insane amount of damage. Pay attention, because when you are using this one, you are vulnerable to block. So ads or the boss can block break you and putting you in a bad spot. So usually you want to use this one for 2-3 seconds, not more, and then going back to your regular rotation. Going back on stats points, guys, of course, always focus hybrid for the same reason that we are saying all the time. 5% dominance, absolutely insane. 5% restoration, even more important for this power set. 5% vitalization, it's absolutely nothing. So you want to always go as hybrid. I never run, so other people prefer to run as a superpowered, but since we have the bonus on our own power set that all the abilities are costing 30% less on power, I never ran out of power, never got any kind of issue with the power, and that's why I'm suggesting you to run as hybrid. 20 point on critical healing chance, 40 on critical healing magnitude. This is a self-healing power set as tank, guys, so everything is scaling and proccing by those, so those are absolutely necessary. And the most common mistake that the people are doing, they are maximizing first the restoration instead of the HP. the correct spec, it's just to maximize your HP first, because this power set, it's a power set based on HP, on a support role. So first of all, you have always to maximize your HP, sometimes 100, 120, 130 if you are on end game, if you have a lot of skill points. 150 point as a restoration is fine. Don't go too crazy, guys, because I have tested this one as 200 skill point on the restoration, and to be completely honest, the self-healing was almost the same. So the difference was between I don't know, 4, 5k, 6k, something like that, and sacrificing 50 skill points just for additional 3k of self-healing, I don't think that's worth. When you are completing the restoration, the rest of the skill point on dominance. Dominance as third stats, it's perfectly fine, because if you consider that you are using everything as dominance, so on your generator modes, on your adaptive augments, and on origin augments, you are perfectly balancing. Well, you are not perfectly balancing, but you are well balancing between restoration and dominance. Talking about the loadout, guys, it's really easy. So engulf, it's a must, literally, absolutely. Stock flame, it's a must, absolutely. Immolation, backdraft, Arclight shield, Amazonium deflection, or a supercharge at your choice, depend on which kind of content you are running. So actually, with the setup that I have here, with the Everyman prototype, basically using a supercharge is absolutely useless, because you are not proccing nothing. But if you want to use an Eye of Gemini instead of the Everyman prototype, it's always the way to go, specifically if you want to proc your Gemini. So if you're running the Gemini and you're running a raid, dash attack is the way to go, or if you're running basically an alert, elite alert, regular alert, doesn't matter, you can always use those cheap supercharges. And don't forget to change the white mode when you are tanking with the Eye of Gemini, because you can get the supercharge back just for free. Okay, guys, talking about the tank rotation of this power set, before jumping on the rotation itself, I have to explain something. So, I want to explain what immolation is. So, most of the people still thinking that immolation is a shield because it's classified as shield, but the real usage of this power, you don't have to see this power as a shield itself, like for example is happening on ice, like reflection or winter ward, or another shield that you can actually think into the game. Immolation, it's basically and not only that a mitigation of damage. For the simple reason, guys, that this shield as a shield itself, it's classified as one of the most weak shield into the game, because it's not doing the right job of a shield, but instead is doing a mitigation of damage. So basically it's just splitting the damage over time until you absorb, as you can see, greatly increase the shield value. However, shield absorb 35% of the damage taken. So basically what you are doing, you are popping an immolation that is going to proc, and well, it's not going to proc, but it's working like the Manacle of Force, because the Manacle of Force is splitting the damage over time, and this is doing exactly the same thing. So when you are thinking about the immolation that is classified as a shield, don't think as a pure shield, but just like a mitigation of damage that you are going to do over time. So many people are getting confused, and I received a bunch of questions on my live stream that people were complaining about immolation as a shield. People were absolutely mad. So don't watch it as a pure shield, guys, but just take in consideration that this skill, it's just a kind of skill to mitigate the damage over time while you are self-healing. Talking about the rotation, we already know, guys, right? So actually, I have put this rotation without the Eye of Gemini. Amazonium deflection is always the way to go. It's really useful, specifically when you are solo tanking some elite content, or also for survival mode that is actually coming early in March next month. So this is this is a loadout that basically you are ready to do whatever you want if you are not using the Gemini. So if you're using the Gemini, you can get rid of the Amazonium deflection and put a supercharge, whatever you want. So dash attack, it's an additional shield and it's a strong one. Or if you are running some stupid alert or just some regular raids that you wanna buff your group and recharge the supercharge of your group, you can always choose a cheap one just to proc the Gemini. But this is not the main point, guys. The main point is just the rotation. Rotation means, so as a fire tank have to self, so mainly your survivability is to self-healing instead of to be protected by shield. So usually you want to make sure that you are going to apply your power interaction directly to your opponents, just to have, so like we said, guys, and like we noticed on level 10, when you are directly in enflame your opponents, of course, so that means a fire soul, when you are burning enemies, your bonus defense is increases to up to 60% of defense while not blocking. And that's why we wanna always keep the power in interaction on our enemies. So just to have a perma buff of our defense. The rotation is pretty easy, guys. There is nothing to explain, to be completely honest. So you are going to pull everyone to yourself, applying the power interaction while blocking them with the consumable. So use backdraft mainly. So watch backdraft as the main skill that you're going to burst healing yourself. So taking the aggro, stunning them, and rotate the shield, the other shields according to your loadout. So when backdraft is on cooldown, always applying the power interaction and rotating with the shield that you need. It's really easy, guys. That's really easy. So actually fire is a really nice tank since they have changed some kind of stuff that this power set was lacking on, and I can guarantee, I've showed a bunch of time on live stream, this power set can solo tank every single content into the game. So basically you're going to take the aggro, apply the power interaction. Sometimes you're going to use your combo, because I prefer, this is a personal preference, as you can see, guys. So this combo of the one-handed allow you to have 2 additional seconds, so you can get the cooldown back on your skill and starting back your rotation. So taking the aggro, apply the power interaction, sometimes a fight with your weapon, self-healing you yourself with the backdraft, popping the shield and keeping doing the same thing over and over and over. It's really easy, guys. Okay, guys, I guess that's it for this long guide. I'm pretty sure that I'm getting absolutely flamed by the entire community, because every single time people are saying that I'm doing guides that they are so long. But once again, the answer will be always the same. So if you want to explain absolutely everything about a power set, you have to go in depth of the mechanics of the power itself. So highlight the strongest point, highlight always and also the weakest point of the power set. So you are able to cover absolutely every single aspect of this power set. As you noticed, so people who were on my live stream, we did a poll during a session of the live stream, as you can see on the graphics that is going on actually on your screen. So the next power set that we are going to cover, it's ice. So mainly thanks to people who have joined my live stream and supported me like usual. So we are going to click and choose eyes. So that means this will be the next power set that we are going to cover. So what else to say? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Hope you like what I'm doing for the DC Universe Online community. If you like the video, don't forget to leave a like and also a subscription to the channel, because it's just for free. And if you don't like what I'm doing, just don't forget to press the dislike button twice, because that will make the trick, right, guys? Thank you so much once again, guys, and of course, like every other single time, we will see in the next one. Peace out.